Good afternoon. This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Jessica Moore. We begin with news out of Maryland, where 3 people were killed and several others injured in a workplace shooting. The shooting happened around 9 this morning at a Rite Aid distribution facility north of Baltimore. The lone shooter, who is a woman, is in custody and in critical condition at a local hospital. 4 people were taken to a Maryland hospital with gunshot wounds. A 5th is in critical condition at another hospital in Delaware. Today, a huge announcement from the Archbishop of New York. Timothy Cardinal Dolan says he will hire federal judge Barbara Jones as an independent reviewer to handle any allegations of sexual assault amid the growing sex abuse scandal in the church. He says Jones will have complete access to records, personnel, and to himself personally.
Every night he picked somebody different, but a lot of nights was my night.
Doug Bienvenu of Lafayette, Indiana, says he was only 8 years old when his Catholic priest began plying him with alcohol and abusing him.
He crawled in bed with us once we were sleeping and after we were drunk and fondled us all night.
Bienvenu, one of thousands of people across the country who say they were victimized by priests and other members of the Catholic Church. Today, Timothy Cardinal Dolan acknowledged the crippling blow to the church.
Many of our people and our priests are calling it the summer of hell for our Catholic family. And from my people, my clergy, and from the wider community, most of whom respect and appreciate the church, I hear that they want accountability, transparency, and action.
Cardinal Dolan announcing action today with the addition of Special Counsel Judge Barbara Jones.
Here's what I've asked her to do. An exhaustive study of our policies, procedures, and protocols on how we deal with any accusation that comes to us about an alleged abuse of a young person by a priest, deacon, or a bishop. I promised her complete access to our records, personnel, and to me personally.
The Cardinal has asked me to be rigorous in my examination and to call out deficiencies as I see them. He has assured me that he will take appropriate action as expeditiously as possible based upon my recommendations.
The announcement comes after Tuesday's bombshell development by the New Jersey Catholic Conference saying abuse victims, even those who signed settlement agreements prior to 2002, can now speak publicly about their ordeals.
I think that perhaps the victims got lost and this behavior was seen as essentially a moral offense, which it is, but it's much more than that.
The U.S. Catholic Bishops' Conference issued a dramatic apology on Wednesday for the role bishops play in the clergy's sex abuse scandal, saying, quote, some bishops, by their actions or their failures to act, have caused great harm to both individuals and the church as a whole. U.S. bishops also announced Wednesday they will set up a third-party hotline to field complaints about bishops accused of sexual abuse or harassment. Good and bad news for NJ Transit riders. You're about to save on fares. The railroad says it will cut fares 10% from November through January. The bad news, there will also be more service disruptions. NJ Transit says disruptions are necessary to install positive train control by the December 31st deadline. The changes are expected to go into effect in mid-October, with full service expected to be restored by mid-January. Happening now, Governor Cuomo's former right-hand man, Joseph Prococo, is being sentenced, facing up to 50 years in prison. In March, Prococo was found guilty of accepting more than $300,000 in bribes from companies seeking official favors. Prosecutors say an energy company and real estate developer gave Prococo money, trips, and even a job for his wife with a $90,000 salary. The man accused in the hit-and-run death of a special needs New Jersey man is expected in court this afternoon. 42-year-old Giovanni Rivera passed away early yesterday morning after police say an SUV hit him Monday night near the group home where he lived in Garfield. Police arrested 59-year-old Paul Frischer of Franklin Lakes, accusing him of being behind the wheel of the Chevy Suburban that was spotted on surveillance video. Frischer is now facing a list of charges, including leaving the scene of a deadly accident and endangering an injured victim. Today marks 1 year since Hurricane Maria battered Puerto Rico, and still the island is struggling to pick up the pieces. A recent study from George Washington University estimates nearly 3,000 people died as a result of the Category 4 storm, though the president has disputed that number. The government also says it will take $139 billion in order to fully recover. This was the strongest storm to hit Puerto Rico in more than 80 years, leaving the island powerless for months. It is starting to feel like fall with this afternoon's stubborn clouds and cool air. Here's John Elliott with what to expect for the last few days of summer.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the staff here today is a little down because they are all summer lovers, and today is definitely a hint of fall. So we've been shedding some tears here. We're a very delicate group. More clouds than sun, hoping for a little bit more evidence of the sun this afternoon. Ultimately, a cooler day. We're going to have to work our way till 72. Now, overnight tonight, there could be a little bit of drizzle. Not a big deal. It's a relatively quiet pattern. And then a shift in the wind will bring in a little bit more humidity and warmer temperatures. Kind of nice for your last Friday in summer to be a degree or two above normal. But this front well to the west on the map could usher in a shower or even a thunderstorm overnight Friday into Saturday. But I still think football should be okay if it's a homecoming Friday night. I remember homecoming. I loved homecoming because I was in the band. Friday night football should be fine. And then Saturday morning, sleep in because there could be an early shower, but it definitely looks better in the day. There's a big ridge of high pressure that we're kind of banking on for Saturday into a good part of Sunday. And then fall arrives Saturday night, 9:54 p.m. You don't have to change any clocks. You don't have to do anything. You just have to start raking, apparently. And then Sunday, you're right at 70. Cool sunshine for your Monday.
All right, thanks, John. And this weather may have you thinking about some fall activities for the weekend. From Honeycrisp to Granny Smith, whatever your favorite may be, it is peak apple picking season. CBS2's Vanessa Murdoch has what you need to know for your next trip to the orchard.
Talk about coming. This is going to be a huge weekend for apple picking. It's peak apple picking season.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yes. So we know people are going to be flooding the orchard this weekend. What is ripe for the picking?
Oh, wow. This year, everything seems to have come in at once. So we have the Red Delicious on the small trees. We have the McIntosh. We have the Cortlands. We have the Jonagols. We have the Granny Smiths. We have the Mutsus.
It's a long list,
right
huh?
Now. Yeah.
Now,
most of our apples are ripe right now.
it's amazing. You said the one that you can't necessarily get anymore because it's past its prime is Prime Red,
Right.
which is actually a variety you'd really only find here on Massacre Orchards.
Even the experts don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But people who have come early, it's got a following.
Right.
You know, and we bought it as just a pollinator and didn't know it was going to be a delicious apple until people started saying, "Oh, I love that apple! I love that apple." And the experts tell me I have a prime red. They don't know what it is.
Don't know what it is,
Never
but
heard
it's
of it.
really good. But you can't get it anymore. All right, so this weekend, excellent for apple picking.
Oh well,
Yeah.
It's prime. This is prime time.
The crop is amazing. So, and yes, this is just some of what you'll see if you come out apple picking this weekend. So we hope everybody has a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend. And again, Massacre Orchards here in Warwick, New York. See you later.
Looks delicious. Bring on the cider donuts. Thanks, Vanessa. Lady Gaga is inspiring one Long Island school into kindness and bravery. Today, a pep rally was held at Baldwin Middle School to celebrate their participation in the 21 Days to Be Kind challenge. The challenge comes from Lady Gaga and her mother, Cynthia Germanata, who co-founded the Born This Way Foundation, which calls on young people to foster kindness in their communities and schools. Now, 16 days into the challenge, the school received an encouraging note from someone special.
Just knowing that you are leading the way on Long Island with this challenge warms my heart so much, and I can't thank you enough for continuing to spread my daughter's message of kindness and bravery in your communities.
The Baldwin School District is one of 20 participants nationwide and the only school in New York to join in the challenge so far. It will conclude on the UN International Day of Peace, but students are encouraged to keep the kindness alive throughout the school year. We all know New York City is full of interesting people, right? CBS2's John Diaz met one photographer who's on a mission to make sure older New Yorkers don't go unnoticed.
From 4 people who escaped the Nazis to the man who discovered hepatitis, a New York City photographer has stopped, interviewed, and photographed dozens of seniors to let them know they're far from invisible. Now, photographer Herb Bardavid has named his long-term project Getting Old and Getting Out in New York City. He says often New Yorkers pass by seniors without noticing them, especially those in wheelchairs and walkers. So his goal is to make the elderly visible. Engaging and listening to their stories has connected him to them, and he even has been invited into their homes. He then posts short stories about them and their photos on his website. Now, many of the subjects in this project live alone. They talk about the importance of their choice to live in New York City and why they get out rather than stay in their apartments and deal with loneliness. For more information on Herb's efforts, you can head over to our website, cbsnewyork.com. For now, reporting here from Midtown West, John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
And that is your CBS 2 News update. Thanks so much for having us in. Stay tuned on cbsnewyork.com, along with our CBS New York Facebook pages and our Twitter page for the latest news as it happens. I'm Jessica Moore. Have a great day.